Ticino or Valais? Where to go? I know you probably might be limited in your time when you want to visit Switzerland and you won't have enough days to visit both of them. To help you with making a choice, in this video I'm going through how to reach the place, the cities, cuisine, culture, attractions, the season that you should be visiting either of the places, and then I'm pretty sure you will know where to go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jemo and I'm a Switzerland travel expert. Now let's first start to talk about Valais and Ticino. They are both two cantons that are located in the south of Switzerland. They're bordering each other and they're also bordering Italy. Now what's important, in Valais the official languages are French and German, and in Ticino it's only Italian. And now let's start with the first thing, and that is how to get to either of the places. I would say in general they are both easily reachable, but there are some major differences. For example, the canton of Valais is really easily reachable from various parts of Switzerland, especially from the French-speaking part. It's super easy. You can enter through Lake Geneva and then just drive up River Rhone, or you can also access from the site of Bern through Lötschberg Tunnel, or even from the Autoverlad Forca from the canton of Uri. So it's super easy to get there. You can also take the pass roads in summer. And in Ticino it's quite similar. You can just take the Gotthard tunnel or you can access the pass roads. So this is really good when it's summer. But when it's winter, things are a little bit different because the pass roads will be closed. And Ticino can be only reached through the Gotthard tunnel or the San Bernardino from eastern Switzerland. Valais is still much easier to reach. You can reach it from the east, from the north and from the west. But you cannot travel from Valais to Ticino because the pass road at the Novena, it's closed. So as you can see, the accessibility here, I would say Valais is probably better. In summer, if you travel by car, it actually doesn't really matter that much. Now let's talk about the cities. The cities of Valais are Martigny, Sion, Sierre, Visp and Brig. In Ticino, these would be Lugano, Locarno and Bellinzona. Now, the first two of them, they're located by the lake. This is something I find very unique. We can enjoy a beautiful panorama with the water and the Alps, and it's just very pleasant to roam around the promenade. This is something that you cannot do in the cities of Valais. The cities of Ticino, they're definitely more popular. Lugano and Locarno, there are many visitors who go there every year. Locarno, you have the filming festival. Lugano is just very famous because of the two mountains in the bay. It just looks very stunning. These two cities, they can be really crowded at times. And here I would say the cities of Valais, they have the advantage that they're not that well known. And here you can enjoy these two places with little people. If you don't like crowds, then definitely consider traveling to the cities of Valais. When it comes to the attractions in the cities, I would say the ones in Ticino, they're slightly better. For example, in Locarno and Lugano, you can access the nearby mountains, and from there you can enjoy a stunning panorama. You can either take a funicular or a cabin ride. That's something that you cannot do in the cities of Valais. When it comes to the old towns, then here I would say Brig and Sion, they're very beautiful, and in Ticino that would be Bellinzona. By the way, in Bellinzona you have the Tre Castelli, they're UNESCO World Heritage. They're, by the way, also free to be visited. And if you go to the canton of Valais, you'll have the Stockhalter Palace in Brig or the two castles of Sion. Well, here I would say, when it comes to the old city and the castles, both cantons offer an equally great experience. Regarding the seasonal tourism, Valais is visited throughout the entire year. It's really fantastic to go there during winter. You have many ski resorts, there will be a lot of snow, and definitely also you'll be able to enjoy great panoramas overseeing the snow mountains. In Ticino, that's something that you cannot do. Ticino is not really a winter destination, although yes, there are a few places where you can enjoy the snow. You can also go skiing in Bosco Gurin, but in general, Ticino is pretty much of a summer destination. In Valais it doesn't really matter that much. You can come in spring, summer, autumn, you can do great hikes. There are different attractions that are open during the different seasons, so here you really have enough to do throughout the entire year. Zermatt, Saas-Fee and Verbier, for these places, it doesn't really matter in which month you're traveling there. Ticino is great to be visited up from the Easter weekend until autumn. So it's, as I said, pretty much a summer destination. People that just really want to enjoy the warm weather, being by the lakes, even go for swimming out in the nature, going for hiking. So if you're really into summer tourism, well then it doesn't really matter too much. Valais or Ticino, they're definitely great. But when it comes to winter, then I would say Valais is actually better. When it comes to the traditional architecture, Valais and Ticino, they're really different. Of course, you'll have many traditional villages in both of the cantons, but when you look at the houses, in Ticino you have these rustici. They're beautiful stone houses. They look very simple, but people, they just really admire them, and so do I. If you go to the villages of Ticino, you'll see so many of them. It looks really impressive. You even have the Splui in the Val Bavona. These are the houses that are built beneath the rocks. Something very interesting, and it kind of makes you feel like you were in a Lord of the Rings movie. In Valais, the houses are pretty much made of wood, so they look very different. You'll have these typical Stadel houses. There are these beautiful, cozy wooden cabins built on these pillars, and this is something that's very characteristic for the canton. I really love that. In fact, even when you go to the villages in Valais, you'll see during the summer season all these beautiful wooden houses are decorated with a lot of geraniums. This is something very unique, and you won't really see that much in Ticino. But you'll actually be surprised. When you visit Ticino once in a while in certain valleys, you'll see a house that looks very typical to the ones of the canton of Valais. Well, this is because the Walser people, they have also passed there, and because of that you have a few Walser homes that are still there. Overall, both architectures are unique. You just need to know whether you prefer wooden houses or stone houses, and then you already would know to which canton you should travel. The cuisines, they're also different, although one thing is exactly the same. If you're up in the Alps, you'll usually have these typical meat and cheese platters. Of course, you'll have different kinds of meat and cheese in both of the places, but the concept is exactly the same. Valais is famous for its fondues and raclette. Also, you should definitely try out fondue tomate. That's something that you mostly only can get in there. Furthermore, Valais is also known for its Eran beef. It's a special type of cow race that is native to this canton. These cows, they're fighting each other, and because of that, they're quite strong. And you really can taste the difference to the other type of beef meats that you had before. In Ticino, it's polenta, and in general, the concept of the Grotti restaurants. This is something that's really cool. I absolutely love the Grotti. I feel Ticino really branded itself with this kind of restaurants, because we Swiss Germans, we extra go to Ticino also because of their dining culture. So in the different villages, you'll have these beautiful traditional looking restaurants. They're called Grotti, and it's just very pleasant to dine in there, especially when you can sit outside. They'll serve traditional foods like polenta. It comes, for example, with cheese, with milk, even with rabbit, or then you just have various other dishes like luganighetti or costine, which are sausages and ribs. When it comes to the prices, well, it depends really where you're going to. For example, in Valais, certain destinations can be really expensive. Verbier, Zermatt and Saas-Fee, these are hotspots, and over there you have a lot of people that are visiting, so there already the accommodation is going to be really expensive. Now the funny thing is that these places are mostly villages, while staying in the cities of Valais is actually fairly cheap. In Ticino, it's exactly the opposite. It is rather expensive to stay at the cities, but you'll be surprised when you go to the valleys. It is actually very cheap to stay in these villages over there. But you really have to bear in mind, it's super easy to find a lot of hotels in the villages of Valais. Well, in Ticino, it's not. But of course, if you stay in any of these hotels, it is mostly quite cheap. The Valle Verzasca, it's also world famous because of the James Bond movie GoldenEye that was shot in there. But you'll be surprised, although it is very well known, it is very cheap to visit. And by the way, if you visit any of these villages over there in the canton of Ticino, mostly you'll be just paying for the parking lot or for your bus ticket to arrive there. Whereas in Zermatt and Saas-Fee, you'll have a lot of attractions in these villages, and then your expenses will be higher because you probably want to go up to the summits. When it comes to hiking, both places are absolute paradises. You'll have so many hikes in both of the cantons. That's something that is super cool, but the hiking experience is definitely going to be different. Valais is very known for its hiking trails along the Suonen, in French bis. So these are trails that are along the water, and this is something I just find very healing. When you're walking along there, it is just very nice. There are numerous trails like that. In Ticino, you have very few of these trails, so mostly the hiking is going to be very different. What is really cool about the hiking in Ticino, one hiking trail you can see a lot of lakes. In Valais, this is usually not possible. You can see only one or max two lakes. But what's definitely going to be really great, because in Valais the mountains are overall just higher. The summits, they're mostly going to be covered with snow throughout the entire year. This is something that I find just more unique in terms of impression. In Ticino, the mountains are lower, and because of that, the entire landscape is going to look pretty much green. So here I have to say, it actually doesn't really matter to which cantons you will be traveling, but of course, if you really prefer going along the water or seeing the snow mountains, then you would have to go to Valais. If you prefer it warmer, well then Ticino will be your destination. When it comes to attractions in both of the places, there's really a lot to do, but different kind of things. Let's first start with the similarities. We'll have a lot of pass roads in both of the cantons. You can go for hiking. You can also access some of the summits. You also have old cities, even castles. So these attractions, they're similar. But Valais is really known for its 360 degrees panorama on the very high mountains, usually above 3,000 meters. And from there you can enjoy seeing the snow mountains. This is something that is not possible in Ticino during summer. So here, if you really prefer seeing the summer scenery plus the mountains with the snow, then you would have to go to Valais. If you're a glacier lover, Valais is absolutely fantastic. There are so many glaciers. My favorite one is the Grand Alech Glacier, but of course there are also smaller ones, the Zinal Glacier, the glacier at the Moiri, and so on. So there's really a lot to see. In Ticino, there's only one glacier. In Ticino, you can do different things, for example, canyoneering or swimming at the various places in the valleys. Well, you probably didn't know, but Ticino is worldwide really considered a true mecca for canyoneering. There's so many canyoneering trails that you can try out. This is really insane. So if you're definitely into canyoneering, Ticino will be your place. And if you enjoy swimming in the nature, in the creeks and the natural pools, well, Ticino got so many of them. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm really blown away by how many beautiful places there are in just one canton. To give you a few examples, you can go to Lavartezzo, that's one of the most famous places. It will be quite crowded. The same is the case at the Valle Maggia at Pontebrolla. I already talked about the cuisine when it comes to the dining experience. If you prefer dining in a chalet, then you would have to go to Valais. If you prefer it a little bit more rustic with stone houses and just very raw, well then you should go to the various grottis. This is something really fantastic. Waterfalls, of course, Valais, it has a few nice waterfalls. Ticino has so many waterfalls. Like swimming places, absolutely incredible. If you're a waterfall enthusiast, well then probably you rather want to go to Ticino. So to wrap up, in terms of attractions, both places are great. Here it just really depends what are your primary interests, and then you already would know which choice to make. I have good news and I have bad news when it comes to the crowds. So the hotspots during summer season, they're definitely going to be crowded. Lugano, Locarno, and then in Valais it would be Zermatt, Saas-Fee and Verbier. These places, they'll be crowded. In Valais, the hotspots will be crowded during many months of the year. In Ticino, it's mostly just during summer season. So if you come to Ticino up from September to early June, even the hotspots like the cities, they're actually not going to be that crowded. Of course, there are a few exceptions. These would be weekends and then also long weekends of Easter, Ascension Day and Pentecost. While over there, you'll just have many people who are traveling there, especially Swiss Germans. Yes, the hotspots in Valais and Ticino, they can be really crowded at times. But here, the good news, in both of the cantons, you have a lot of getaways with little people. There are a lot of hidden gems, especially in the valleys, in both of the cantons. So over there, you can enjoy beautiful villages, great scenic lookouts, and all of that with little people. Long story short, when it comes to the crowds, it actually doesn't really matter which canton you visit. You just would have to know if you want to go rather to the cities or to the villages. The cultures of both cantons are very different. In Ticino, the culture is more influenced by Roman Catholicism, Christianity. You'll have traditions like celebration of Three Kings Day on 6th of January. You'll have the Easter processions of Mendrisio, by the way, they're UNESCO World Heritage. And then you also have the various Christmas markets. In Valais, you also have a lot of Christian culture. In fact, the Roman Catholic Church there is still very important for the local culture. But overall, I would say the culture of Valais is very pagan. This is really cool, especially if you go to see the carnivals. In the Lötschental, you have this tradition, it's called Cekete. You'll have these many guys wearing these scary masks. They look actually very beautiful, scary at the same time, but this is to chase away all the ghosts that bring misfortune and disease to the people, and most importantly, to chase away the winter. Well, of course, you also have Carnival in Ticino, although I have to say the Rabadan in Bellinzona, it's a very big one. Hopefully one day I can go to see it. So with this video, I hope I could help you in making your choice, whether you want to go to Ticino or Valais. In my opinion, both places are great. I love them for different reasons I just outlined in here. So I hope you'll have great holidays, and if you want to see similar videos like this, then I'm going to meet you over there. Otherwise, if you're more interested in knowing what are the best attractions during winter, then let's meet in this video.